that's affected by these senseless acts that are happening. And I say senseless. I put the emphasis on senseless acts that are happening right across the country far too often. I'm going to start off by saying that. Next, I want to apologize for not starting the stream on time, but I got here as quickly as I possibly could get here. I didn't even have time to really prepare anything, right? I barely had time to do anything, right? But here we are. 2 days, right? 2 days. Wasn't it Wednesday, right? It was like the 4th of September. The last incident happened in Winder, I believe it is the name of the place. Winder, Georgia, Appalachia High School. And now we have Town, right? Is that even how to pronounce it? Like, these are places I've not heard of until now, right? So Maryland, Town. I'm not even entirely sure how to pronounce it, right? I didn't even really see the details. What's going on, Owen? How you doing? Big up to Owen over there in the UK. Wubby, that's his name, Wubby. Welcome, one and all. Once again, guys, sorry for the late start. I sincerely appreciate each and every person that's here right now. And, I kind of titled it the way I titled it. Let's address the spirit in the room, right? Because we could address the situation. He said, remembered my name. Yeah, definitely. We could address the situation on the surface, right? We could address it on the surface, right? And put a Band-Aid on it, right? Or address it on the surface, right? And maybe cut it, right? Let's say you cut the hair, right? Or you cut the beard. It's gonna grow back, right? We're not addressing the problem at the root, at the core, right? So not 2 days after a tragedy happened over there in Georgia, right? People over there are still mourning. We have something like this happen. And they still want us to send our kids to school. School is important, isn't it? I mean, it is important, right? Education is important. School is important. But are we treating it like it is important? Are we collectively treating it like it's the most important thing or commodity in the country to protect the kids and protect them while they're at school, out in the public, and to protect them while they're at home? To be completely honest with you, I don't even know the details of the Town situation, right? I clicked on a video earlier today. I didn't get an opportunity to really address it, but I clicked on a video earlier today. And in the video, evidently the kid was in the bathroom. Again, this is why I say metal detectors at school. He was in the bathroom, and evidently, I'm not even entirely sure if this is all the details. I do not have all the details. But evidently, another kid fatally assaulted with a deadly weapon in the bathroom at school. Had a conversation today. I had several conversations about this because I want to see what real people think about this, right? What do real people think about these issues, right? So then when you bring up the idea of metal detectors, people say, oh, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't need my 4-year-old or my 6-year-old walking through metal detectors, right? Okay, so my question to you is, what do you suggest? So you don't want the metal detectors, fine, fair enough, understood. Not understood, but understood that you have your perspective, I have my perspective, other people are going to look at the situation in their own unique way. But if you say no to metal detectors, then what do you suggest? What do you suggest for your child to be safe, for you to be at work thinking to yourself, oh, well, they have to go through protocol in order to get into that facility, right? Because it's just as, if not more protected than the airport, than government buildings, right? We should have more protection there than we have in all of these other places, if I'm completely honest with you. If I'm going to be completely honest with you. We're not doing enough, right? So now, let's visit one out of the two situations, right? We're going to get to Joppa Town. Again, I don't really know the details of Joppa Town, so I will be relying on the chat. Right now, guys, I'm not going to quite go through the chat yet. I hope you guys please understand what it is. Please understand, I just want to address the situation first, and then I will address I will try to address each and every one of you, right? Because it is growing. There's now 33 people in here, right? But let's go back to Wednesday. Let's go back to Wednesday, right? And remember, was it yesterday, last night, maybe this early this morning? I'm not even quite sure, because I've been putting out these videos about the situation, right? But before I knew that the father, right, was an accessory to the situation, I titled the video. I don't even quite remember what it is that I titled the video, but I alluded to the fact that the kid did not act alone, right? And I'm not gonna go off on a tangent and say, oh yeah, the father put him up to it, right? I'm not gonna say the father put him up to it, but right, I think you guys see the thumbnail. The thumbnail says who else is at fault, right? That's what the thumbnail says. And it says streamed 1 day ago, right? It didn't have as much views as the one that I did prior. Didn't have as much views as the one I did before. But the identity of the shooter revealed. Should Colt Gray's father also, right, face consequences? Right? So this is when I found out the identity of the kid, right? And I came and I did the live and I spoke on the situation. Now, in speaking on the situation, that's when it started. Someone in the chat revealed to me, right? And I questioned it, because it's like, it was something that was very difficult for me to really believe it. But someone in the chat said, oh no, his father got him the weapon for Christmas. I said, what? I said, that's new to me. I don't really know that. Like, that was something developing, and I appreciate whoever it was. If it was you that said that in the chat yesterday, big up yourself, because according to the reports, you were absolutely right. The father is alleged to be the one who purchased the weapon for his son. Right? Now, that's in itself a conversation. That's in itself a whole entire entity, right? For you to buy a weapon for your teenager, 14, barely a teenager, right? However, after the teenager made threats, right, against other teenagers at their school, right? So after the teenager made threats against other teenagers at the school, you decide that the smart thing to do would be to buy a weapon for your son. Give him a weapon. Go ahead, give him a weapon. Send him on out there. Well, the investigation by the federales, that didn't raise your eyebrow. As a father, you didn't think to yourself, well, you know what? Maybe I should go and talk to my son and really get to the core of the problem. Maybe I should really try to understand him, understand what it is that he's going through, because I'm sure there were signs. I'm sure his son was crying out for help, right? Broken home, again, broken home, family values, disarray, almost non-existent, father that doesn't understand, right? Really doesn't understand the kid. Almost as if he doesn't give a crap. Or if he's saying, here, go ahead, just do it. Right? So when I was having the conversation today, guys, I said, and this is what I said. There's a reason why I said it, right? To me, even though the father was not the one that put his hand and his pinky on the trigger and pulled it, because of the situations and the circumstances leading up to the event, the father is just as, if not more, at fault than the minor. Has his emotions, doesn't know how to deal with these emotions, right? He knows right from wrong. Yes, there should be consequences. But with the father, with these developing facts on the case, the father should be held even more responsible. And I know you're thinking, oh, but wait, hold on. What are you saying? What are you saying? The father didn't pull the trigger. The father wasn't the one that pulled the trigger. Okay. All right, cool. Well, you know something? Had the father not went out and purchased a rifle, an assault rifle at that, for his kid, right? After he knew that there was an investigation on his kid, and his kid was insinuating doing terrible acts to other children and other adults and other people that went to his school. You decided it would be a good idea. Hey, let me just give it to him anyway. Right? And to be honest, guys, when I heard that it was a Christmas gift from his father, I was absolutely shocked. I mean, I couldn't believe it. You guys could go back and check the video. I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. Right? I think I kept saying, I don't know. I was alluding to, well, you know what? I don't have the facts with that. That's something that I have to look into. And having looked into it, I appreciate the person who pointed that situation out, because they were absolutely right. So now here we are in America, all but 2 days later. Count it. 1, 2. Now it's 12:04. So technically, I'd still say 2 days if we're counting the hours, right? 2 days and some change. So after all of 2 days and some change, here we are discussing yet another situation just like the one on Wednesday at a school in America. Again. I'm going to get into the chat. I just wanted to kind of clear that up and get that off my chest, right? Again, I came here, I got here as quickly as I could. I'm sorry again for the late start. This isn't anything. I didn't prepare anything. I don't know all of the details regarding the second situation that happened yesterday now, right? But we're going to use today because it's still only a few hours ago, right, that it happened. And when I say a few, maybe more than 12 or so, right? Because it's 12:05 a.m. So less than a day, right? So the situation that happened recently, right? Let's just use for argument's sake a few hours ago. I don't know all the details of the situation. But one student passed away and another student to be wasted away. Right? Another unfulfilled potential. And when I was sitting up there and I was saying, man, well, you know what? The 14-year-old kid, I understand what it is that he did was terrible. I understand that it was a terrible thing for him to do. It was a terrible, terrible thing for him to do. I understand that. I get it. Right? I feel the same way. I feel that it was a terrible thing for him to do. But he's 14. Right? Should there be consequences? Absolutely. But the father, and I never really call for people to face consequences and this, that, and the third. But in situations like this, man, had the father not gotten the rifle after he knew that his son was a flight, well, not even a flight risk, was a risk, right? I was saying a flight risk, but that's not the term that I would, right? Was basically a threat to the schools around him, right? To the school that he went to the students around him, to the teachers around him. Why did he then go out and get a rifle for his son? Let me get into the chats. Thank you guys for being so patient. I still want to address the other thing as well. I think I'm going to do some reading when it comes to that, because we can go over this together, right? We can go over and better understand this situation together, right? But I thank you guys for being so patient. We're going to get through some of these chats. I appreciate everyone that's here tonight. You know, but yeah, this situation definitely needs to be addressed. And we move forward. Owen says, hey, brother. How you doing, Owen? I think I did address you earlier today. Goofy G says, hi. How you doing, Goofy G? Guys, make sure you're also liking the video as well and subscribing. Whoopi says, I didn't hear what happened. What did I miss? Yeah, you missed something today, man. I didn't really go into the details yet because, I was at work. I kind of watched the video alluding to, a kid getting, hit with with a weapon. And the kid is now no longer here with us, right? I'm not sure if he passed away at the scene or if he passed away at the hospital, but a situation happened 2 days later, maybe a few hours more or a few hours less than 2 days of the situation that happened over there in Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. So I think this situation was Maryland. Joppa Town, I believe, is the name of the place. Is it JAPA? Let me see. Hold on one second. JOPPATOWNE. For anybody that wants to do a little research and read up the story. Maybe you could drop some facts for me to go investigate for myself, to go check out if these are actual reports or these are actual facts or whatever it is. And whenever I do get some information, I try not to, dive too deep in the information because, or not when I say dive too deep into information, like take the information and circulate it, because I can't confirm these things, right? So, it's only confirmed that one person died, right? It's only confirmed that one person died and another child is arrested in a high school in Maryland. So, all right, before I read the rest of the chat, I'm going to CBS News right now, and I'm going to go ahead and read this little article. One student is unalived and another in police custody after a shooting Friday inside Joppa Town High School, just outside of Baltimore. So again, guys, this is Maryland. According to Harford County Sheriff Jeffrey Galler, a 16-year-old student allegedly popped, we're going to use for lack of a better term, a 15-year-old during a fight inside the men's bathroom just after 12:30 p.m. So these are the facts that are being reported, right? We don't know how accurate this is, but this is CBS News. You guys can go ahead and check it out for yourself if you'd like to. That's the source of what it is that I'm reading right here, right? So 16-year-old, right, student allegedly popped, for lack of a better term, a 15-year-old during a fight inside the men's bathroom. That victim was flown by medical helicopter to the hospital in serious condition, where he later left this dimension, guys. The alleged teenage gunman ran from the school but was captured a short time later, all but 2 days after what transpired over there in Georgia, guys. Okay? Again, CBS News. You can go check it out if you would like to yourself. Our hearts are breaking for the victim. This is quote, our hearts are breaking for the victim and the victim's family, unquote, said Harford County School Superintendent Dr. Sean Bolson. And quote, this should not be happening in schools, unquote. Sadly, we stand here today to discuss another school incident, right? We're going to use incident for lack of a better term. Sheriff Galler said during an afternoon press briefing, a tragic day 4 days into the school year. So the school started 4 days. School year started 4 days ago, guys. And already it's beef season. The kids don't even know each other's name yet. But it's beef season already. Robert Casilli, Harford County executive, also issued a statement saying Harford County is shocked and saddened by the terrible act of violence committed by one student against another. These are teenagers, guys, resulting in the unalive of a 15-year-old Warren Curtis Grant. I would like to thank our first responders, courageous school staff, and the community members who came together to render aid to the victim and assist law enforcement. Our hearts are broken for Warren's family and friends as we pray for healing and peace in the community. So, I'm going to leave it there, right? Because then it's gonna talk about massive police response, the emergency response. Japatown High School was a swift, massive within 15 minutes. So at least they were there within 15 minutes. We'll give them that. More than 100 police officers were there, but they should have been there instantly. That's the one thing that I will say. So I commend them for being there within 15 minutes, right? But had the presence of them been already there at the school, I doubt these things would be happening, guys. Highly doubt these things would be happening, right? So what is it that we're going to do about this collectively? And I think we need to hold these presidential candidates accountable. It's not their fault, right? We're not saying it's their fault, right? But now that they're going into the White House, now that they're going to be representing the country, okay, what is it that you're going to do about it? What are you going to do about it on a national level? And what are you going to do about it on a state level, on a local level, right? Let me continue with some of these chats, and I appreciate you guys for being so patient. Owen Rooney says, by mine, there was 3 little girls unalived at a dance class and more injured. That was in Southport last month. That's 30 minutes away from MS. Is that MS? Was that Manchester? I'm not entirely sure. No, that's not Manchester. That's MS. Manchester doesn't have an S in it, does it? Yes, it does. Manchester. Yes, it does. I believe that's Manchester. But Owen, you'd have to clarify if that's Manchester, because Owen, guys, is actually in the UK. And that's really sad that 3 little girls at a dance class, right? 3 little girls at a dance class. Oh, wow. Yeah, man. 3 little girls. 3 little girls. What were they doing that was so terrible that for something like this to happen to them? Why are the children not being protected more? I just wish people would stop being psychopathic freaks, says Goofy G. Me too. You and I both, to be completely honest with you. But this is a situation that needs to be addressed at the spiritual level first, right? The things that we are consuming into our spiritual diet, the things that we are consuming into our physical diet, the things that we are absorbing, the energy that we are putting out has a lot to do with these things. So how are we interacting with the people around us, right? How are we interacting with the people around us? And I'm not telling you guys that you got to put yourself, bend yourself backwards for people that don't care about you, right? Just the other day, I had to block somebody on Instagram. I didn't want to do it, but I figured, well, this person really doesn't care much about, what it is that they're saying to another individual. So if I realize and I recognize these red flags, then let me just go ahead and fall back from this person completely, right? So I completely understand that aspect of things. Some people just are simply not pleasant. I get it, right? They have some growing to do. Let them do that. You don't owe it to anybody, right? To put yourself in harm's way to really try to heal them, right? So this is something that we have to do as individuals for ourselves first, right? And then lead by example, right? And then lead by example. Owen Rooney says ME. Top GUN 444 says, okay, all right, he is out of here. We're just gonna put him on timeout for 30 minutes while we discuss what it is that we're discussing here. Who is Top Gun? Owen? I don't know who that is. What are you talking about? You got Owen. You should, when you see somebody like that, Owen, and they're doing that, clip them, get them up out of here. Aaliyah says, hold on one second. Aaliyah says, people don't know that I wasn't born. Okay. I'm more of a woman than you'll ever be. Okay. All right. Aaliyah, that's not what it is that we're discussing right now. Listen, I wish you all the best of luck on your journey, right? We're not addressing anything to do with what it is that you're talking about right now. We are addressing the situation that's happening with children. So please don't make this situation about that, okay? God bless you on your journey. If you're here to stay, you could stay. Listen to what it is that we have. Participate in the community. But that's not where we're at with it right now, right? There's kids that need our help. And that's who we're focused on. We're not focused on what it is that you're talking about, to be completely honest with you. I wish you all the best, though. Honestly. Wubby says, okay, Wubby, I get it. Don't know why you wanted to broadcast this to us. I think it's a bot, Owen. I think so too. Blake Edge says, yo, what up, Blake Edge? How you doing? Dang, I've missed all of this. Should have caught the last stream. It's all good, guys. It's all good. Everyone like and subscribe, says Owen. Yes, definitely agree. Reagan Riggs. Oh my, yo, Reagan, what's up, man? Yeah, Reagan, it's been about a week and a half or so, man. How are the kids doing, man? I hope the kids are doing well. I hope you're doing well. Reagan, guys, is an absolutely magnificent father, and he's a big-time supporter of this channel. I sincerely appreciate that guy, and I hope he's doing well. Reagan, last time I saw you, I had a full beard, man. I had a full beard. How times have changed. But I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you are doing well, Reagan. Cookie Dove, so okay, I'm out. Have a great day. Take care. Bailey Laura says, don't care. Okay, all right, cool. We're gonna bypass those things. Whoopi says, honestly, I think it's even more so on the father. Giving a deadly weapon to some kid who doesn't know what he's doing is a terrible, especially at school. Yes, Owen, that's precisely what it is that I'm saying, right? Why would you, as the father, you're supposed to be the reasonable one. You're supposed to be the logical one. You're supposed to be the one with the experience, with the vision, with the foresight. You don't put this in the hands of your teenager who is obviously going through some emotional, mental problems. Why would you do that? Especially after there was an investigation on the kid. Especially after there were threats that were made against other students at his school. Especially after these things. So you see why he has to be held responsible. I 100% agree with that. Right? So yes, it's on the kid. But it's more so on the father. Had the father not purchased that weapon for the kid, we would still have those other individuals here today. Right? We would still have all of those other kids and those adults that lost their life today. The entire country would not have been traumatized. The family of these victims would not be traumatized. And his other peer and students and teachers at the school would not be traumatized by this situation had the father not went out and purchased an assault rifle for his 14-year-old son. What does that mean for America? When you give an assault rifle to 14-year-old children. And not just 14-year-old children, but 14-year-old children who lack emotional stability, who lack mental stability. Broken home, mom isn't around, father is not doing the best job, father doesn't have emotional intelligence, father, it's almost as if he doesn't care, father is not discussing things with his son, father cares more about other things, right? He cares more about rifles than he does about sitting and talking to his son and getting to know his son a little bit better on a deeper level, to see what his likes and dislikes are, to see what do you want to become in the future. What is it that you want to become in the future? Had he wanted to become something in the future, right? Had he wanted to become something in the future, his father should have sat him down and said, all right, cool. Well, this is what it is that I could do. You know what? I don't have enough money right now, or I don't have this, that, and the third right now. But you know something? You know something, son? I believe in you. I love you, son. I believe you can be whatever it is that you want to be, right? So instead of me getting you a rifle, I'm going to enlist you into, I don't know, ROTC or something, right? Right? I'm gonna, maybe, put you in a basketball team. These are just ideas, right? Maybe you want to become a doctor. Okay, cool. Well, let's go get some medical books. Let's go to Barnes and Noble. Let's do something together as father and son, right? Let's bond, right? Not bond over, right? Maybe, maybe, and I'm really trying to understand this kid a little bit more because, again, he's a kid. I do believe there should be consequences, but I'm trying to understand the kid a little bit more because, man, as bad as it is, as terrible as it is, right? The kid didn't stand a chance with a father like that. He didn't stand a chance with a father like that. And again, guys, this is the importance of family and having two parents in a household. And having two parents in a household that care about their children. That matters. Right? It matters. It absolutely matters. Who knows what that kid was going through? And I'm not here to make him a victim. He's not the victim in this situation. Right? But prior to this situation, he absolutely was a victim. Leading up to this situation, yes, the child was a victim. Because the person that was here before him, prior to him, right, that has the vision, that has the foresight, that has the experience in this world, in this third dimension, said, son, here's a rifle. Instead of saying, son, here, let's go to Barnes and Noble. Let's learn how to do this. Right? This is what's going to get you ahead in life. And when I say ahead in life, I don't mean in terms of competition, but I mean in terms of being precisely what it is that you were put here to be. You're put here to inspire others. Bring light. Right? Not destruction. Not things like this. Right? So when I see the kid, I got to remind myself that he's just a kid. Right? And his father set him up to fail. And it's important, right, that kids have stable fathers and stable mothers in their life. It's very important. And if I understand the circumstances, right, because how this country is set up, a lot of times they make it difficult for parents who want to be good parents to be a part of their child's life. Right? But let no obstacle stop you from being a part of your child's life. Right? Be a part of your child's life. Or as 50 Cent would say, die trying. Dedicate your life to that. Right? Because you're not going to be here forever. I mean, you are, right? But on a deeper level, energy can't be created or destroyed. We all know, right? But we're talking about something different here. We're speaking from a third dimension. A lot of times these things will be lost in translation because when you're communicating these things, guys, whenever you're communicating these things, you have to say it in a way that the current climate and the current consciousness and the current language that people are using, they are able to understand what it is that we're saying. Right? So, yes, the father absolutely, we're going to say it in a British accent, absolutely deserves, right, to be held just as, if not more, accountable for this situation. And I won't say this in every case, but in this situation, because I understand kids, if the father was like, hey son, no, I'm taking the weapons away, getting the weapons away from you, and the kid went out and grabbed the weapon, that's a different story. Right? If the father if the kid went out and got it from somewhere else or went out and stole it or something like that, that's a completely different story. But the father set the kid up to absolutely fail. The father, right, set the kid up to fail, to be completely honest with you guys. Let me get a drink of water before I continue to read, guys. Thank you so much for being patient. Honestly, okay, I read that one. Big up, Whoopi. Thank you so much for that comment. Mr. K says, you ever go to someone's house and their smoke detector battery... Okay, I don't know where we're going with this. Someone says they're on this, and this. Okay, Bentley, I'll see you later, my guy. Reagan Riggs says, I got to tell you something crazy, man. I am all ears. I am all ears, Reagan. I am all ears, man. I'm all ears. I'm down to here. Owen says, hey. Suspect Band said, I totally don't understand why everyone hates me so much. But maybe I do because now I hate... Okay. No need for self-hate here, guys. No need for self-hate. If you have any mental health issues, there's someone out there that does care. Trust me when I tell you that. Try to find somebody to discuss some of these things with. Don't be combustible. You understand what I'm saying? Try to meditate. Try to do some spiritual work. And I'm talking about beyond religion, right? This is not a religious sort of thing. Everything is one thing expressing itself in different ways, guys. So pain one place is pain everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? Even if you don't feel the direct impact of that pain. Right? Because there are people leaving this situation that are traumatized by this situation, that saw some of their friends get unalived, and saw some of their teachers, some of their favorite teachers, and get unalived in situations where they haven't done anything. So a lot of people are really questioning a lot of things right now, and are growing up with that trauma, and some people won't be able to heal from that trauma as well as other people are able to heal from it. So that's going to impact the entire country and the entire world, just by those few people being impacted by this situation. So, he really didn't just hurt those 4 kids. He really hurt the entire world when he did that thing. And beyond him, his father hurt the entire world and failed his kid when he decided to do that. For his child, right? And I'm not here to say people are perfect and parents are perfect, but when you see signs like that, as a father, your instinct should be, man, how can I intervene? How can I help my kid? How can I steer my kid down the right path, right? Not how can I help him to self-destruct. And I feel like his father did that. Terrence Oaksley says, yes, that happened, but I think it was a handgun. Okay. Your teachers is very cool, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is a very, very cheap t-shirt, but I liked it. That's why I got it. I appreciate you noticing it. Thank you so much. From me, I meant sorry. Bro, you play PUBG? No, I do not. I'm not even entirely sure what that is, to be honest with you. It's right next to the Merseyside, a boy 17. Oh, Merseyside. Oh, okay. Got you. Went in with a blade, brother. It was aged 4 to 8. A Taylor Swift themed dance class for little girls, and there was riots in Liverpool over it because people was saying about immigration because He's got a foreign background, but I don't connect it to that. I just think he was sick boy, young, maybe manipulated or acted by himself. You know something? I think people look at. All right, cool. I think people look at. They're always trying to blame something outside of themselves, right? And it's easy to blame someone from a foreign country. It's easy to blame someone that is a different race than you. It's easy to blame someone that's a different gender than you are. It's easy to blame all of these types of people, right? But people aren't going to the core of the problem. It's vibrational, guys. It's frequency. It's energy. And I know it sounds repetitive. And I know it might be annoying sometimes. But trust me, believe me, I don't care. You're going to hear energy, frequency, and vibration all the time on this channel. Right? I'm just going to be completely honest with you. Because it comes from the intangibles, right? The Bible itself, it says it, right? The war is not against flesh and blood. If there is a war, right? It's not. It's not a flesh and blood thing. Right? It's a positive and negative thing. It's a frequency thing. It's a people don't care enough thing. It's a hurt people thing. It's people not healing from trauma. Right? It's people having gone through certain things in their life and they feel like they're down on their luck. And some people just snap. Right? But at the base of spirituality, guys, it's self-control. Being able to control those impulses, guys. That's what makes you powerful. Right? That's what makes you powerful. Being able to control those impulses that you have. When you do have these negative impulses and it does cross your mind to do something, stupid or silly or whatever it is, exercise some self-control. That's what I respect, to be completely honest with you. People that have a level of self-control that it's like, wow, that's amazing. That inspires me to have more self-control. How did you stay so calm in that situation? How were you able to overcome that situation without losing your head? Right? And I think not enough is spoken about, the spiritual forces, about the intangibles in schools. Not enough is spoken about it in the communities, because everything is just about the third dimension, third. Oh, blame them. They're the ones that are doing it, right? And in America, they're talking about migrants, right? And I'm not saying there are not some people that are migrants that are doing these things. Absolutely, there are some people that are migrants that are doing. But is it every migrant? No, it's not. It's not. Right? Colt Gray, was he a migrant? I'm not sure, right? But I'm willing to bet that the situation that happened today in Baltimore, that kid was not a migrant either, right? So let's stop making this an us against them thing. People are so tribal, right? People just want to be so tribal. And they're just overlooking the intangibles, right? They're overlooking the intangibles. So yes, there are some people that are migrants that are doing this, just like it's some Americans that are doing some of these situations that are happening at school. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that. And thank you so much for sharing, Owen. Wobby says, just got back from London, and there was some kind of stabbing in the streets. I was on. Just think, the world's having problems right now everywhere. I'm not saying the world's not having problems everywhere. And I'm not saying that was a good thing, right? Right? Condolences to anybody who was affected by that situation, in all honesty, right? But right now it's about keeping the kids and the next generation safe, right? When you plant a seed, you want the seed to be watered and grow to its full potential, right? And if we're not focusing on making sure that these kids grow to their full potential, then what are we doing? So yeah, condolences to whoever was affected by that situation. I am sorry to hear that. My heart goes out to the victims of the knife crime that's happening over there in London, right? And that's actually a really big thing that I've been hearing about happening in London for quite some time now, the knife crime situation, right? Because I do pay attention to AFTV. Some football players at some point, I forgot who it was. I think it was at one point Mesut Ozil, I believe. I think at one point, was it Mesut Ozil? I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember what. Somebody from Arsenal, and at the time Kolasinac was at Arsenal, and Kolasinac was able to kind of fend off the person that was trying to attack one of the other football players. But yeah, it's sick. Tanaz says, "Hey baby, what's going on, Tanaz? Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Welcome, welcome. How are you tonight?" Whoopi says, due to his dad's mistakes, his life is just ruined now. One decision just threw his entire life away. Yes, his dad's decision. Because of his dad's decision. And it's really unfortunate. And it's not just his life, right? Because he isn't exactly the victim. He is, right? Prior to this situation, yes, he was the victim, in terms of what would happen with his parents and all of that sort of stuff. Right, but the real victims, I think I wrote down their name yesterday. The real victims are Mason Schermerhorn. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name incorrectly, but Mason Schermerhorn, Christian Angulo, Christina Irimi, and Richard Aspinwall, right? Those are the real victims. So even though, yes, he's a victim of bad parenting, and his father really didn't do any justice in the way that he bought the kid a rifle and set the kid up for failure. So yeah, you're absolutely right. But I just can't give him the victim card in this situation too much, right? But his father definitely is more responsible for the situation than he is, right? It's almost not the same, but it's almost like doing that. Like if you had a 5-year-old, right? If you take less than 10 years off his life, and you had a 5-year-old, and would you give the 5-year-old, a weapon? Would you do it? Right? Would you, if a 5-year-old did something like this? What are you doing? Are you gonna lock the 5-year-old away for doing something like this? You're probably not gonna do that, right? You're probably not. The 5-year-old is probably not really conscious of what it is that's really happening, right? But the person that gave the 5-year-old a weapon, if a person gave the 5-year-old a weapon, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm gonna keep it frank, right? So this is something that I'm gonna share with you guys. As a matter of fact, so I had an uncle, right, who was in the police force in Jamaica, right? Married to one of my aunts, right? Not my uncle. My mom, we're not gonna get into my actual uncle that was a police officer, right? We're not gonna get into him right now. That's for a completely different day. But my auntie's husband, right? And we're not gonna get into who he is. We're not gonna say his name or anything like that. But when I was about 5 years old, right, he unloaded the gun and he gave it to me, right? I was 5 years old at the time. I didn't know he unloaded the gun or anything like that. I didn't know anything about any of this stuff. I just thought it was cool. Oh, it's a weapon. Oh, cool. You know what I did with that weapon? Do you guys know what I did with that weapon at 5 years old? I remember being so excited about the situation. I went out, had the weapon, boom, pointed the weapon at my cousin, right? My cousin's like, hey, watch it. You understand what I'm saying? He said something in Jamaican. He was like, yo, mind you shoot me, Like, you understand what I'm saying? But he was doing sort of like one of those things, right? 5 years old. But of course, My uncle was responsible enough to take, the bullets out of the gun and to make sure the safety lock was on and all of that other sort of stuff, right? And he just gave it to me, right? And what did I do? Went and pointed at my cousin. Could have easily done something stupid in that situation. Easily. I'm 5 years old. Right? 5 years old. So it's one of those things, guys. It's absolutely one of those things, right? We got to be conscious about the fact that the kid, as terrible as the act was that the kid did, right? The father, as soon as I put that down and said the father, that happened. But the father is more responsible for the situation than the kid is. Because had the father not given that kid that gun, all of those victims that I named, right, about 5-6 minutes ago, they would still be here. Ruby says, along with lots of others. Who are you referring to? Says Kane Films. Well, did I read the other thing? I did. Hello, everyone, says Sarah. Sarah. Always graceful. Always great to see Sarah. Hope she's had a wonderful day. Sarah, how was your day today? It's always great to see you. We were having such an epic discussion, me and everyone in the chat, and we were talking about the situations that's been going on across America. And it was a really intense sort of dialogue that I was having with everyone. But it was coming straight from the heart. This is just how I truly feel about these situations. This is my opinion. And I think we touched on a lot of things tonight, to be completely honest with you. But there are things that we need to do, and it starts at the spiritual level, guys. It definitely starts at the spiritual level. It starts at the intangibles. Had he not manifested that thought in the first place, right? Had he not thought that thought and identified with that thought or those thoughts, right? And then the desire to do these things grown, right? And with the law of attraction, right? And here he is, right? Attracting to him that sort of energy, attracting to him the weapon, right, of destruction that he used to destroy other lives as well as his own, right? So the circumstances and the situation surrounding this situation, was absolutely terrible, right? Terrible. The father, to be quite frank, yeah, he deserves more consequences than the kid. I'm just being completely honest with you guys, right? Had it been a situation, had the kid went out and stole the weapon, that's different. But after you know this kid's intentions, you never should have did anything like that. He said, try looking at the name of the video, Canny Films. Oh, by the way, Sarah, I did look up that, what was it you were saying? That accent. I forgot what the name of the accent was, but I did look it up. It's quite a unique accent, but it's not my favorite British accent. To be honest with you, I don't think the Scouse is the favorite British accent either. I like the London accent because the London accent kind of has also some Jamaican dialect in it. A lot of Jamaican influence in that London dialect and the way how they talk, with the Jamaican slangs and stuff like that. I do like the Queen's English as well. That's an interesting dialogue as well. The Scouse accent is also one of my favorites. There's so many British accents that are just really dope, to be honest with you. Big up yourself. So basically I was on I-70 and a car rear-ended me real bad while I have my baby in the car, and it was pretty bad. I was in the hospital for a week almost, and my baby boy is in a coma. Reagan, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Reagan, I'm so sorry to hear that, Brody. Can we do something for Reagan? Can we start like a GoFundMe for you or something like that? Um, I think we should just do that. Start a GoFundMe. Does that go international? See if we could do something to help you out. Let me know. Let me know, man. Let me know. Let me know, Reagan. That's terrible to hear, man. That is terrible to hear. Mm. You know what's crazy about that situation? Um, I was actually in a hit and run as well. Somebody hit the vehicle that I was driving. I was driving a vehicle that, of course, my the company that I work for, the company that I work for, kind of gives us these vehicles as well, that we use in our personal time and we use for work as well. And someone actually rear-ended the vehicle. This is not long ago, guys. This is like over the summer sometime. Probably May, June, maybe like May, something like that. I don't even quite remember the month. But it was something like May, June, right? Someone rear-ended me. I was probably going like 55, maybe something like that, 50, 55. And someone just went. They were probably going 70, right? And I guess they were changing lanes or something. Boom, ran right into the back of the car. Right, ran right into the back of the car. Wasn't wearing my seatbelt, right? But thank God the impact wasn't something that crazy. And since then, I decided, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna clip my seatbelt every time I drive a car from now on, because if not for the grace of God or the grace of the universe or some sort of good karma, right? I've been in situations like this before where I sort of made it out of these situations unscathed. It's not the first time somebody rear-ended me. I've been in situations where somebody tried to take my life with a gun before, and it just kind of shows me I don't take anything for granted, guys. I don't take any of it for granted, but when it's not your time, it's just not your time. And when you're here for a reason, you are here for a reason. So I hope and I know your baby boy is gonna get through this situation. I'm so sorry to hear that. I really am, because you know the worst thing that could happen to any parent is for their child to get hurt, especially your baby boy. Especially your baby boy, but at any age, your child. Like, you never want to see that. And you know, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I am so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, guys, we gotta be a whole lot more careful with what it is that we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just putting yourself at risk, you're putting other people at risk, man. When you're doing certain reckless things, And this isn't about being soft or anything like that, but just be a little bit considerate about other people. They're driving around with their kids. They have obligations. You know what I mean? They have other things that they need to work out. Let's be a little bit mindful about the things that we do, guys. Please, let's be a little bit mindful. A Boat Pro says hi. It's a most high judgmental thing, says All Business. Not entirely sure what it is that you mean by that. Reagan says, Whoopi, I wish I was lying, man. I really do. Reagan, I just read that. I'm so sorry to hear that's what happened to you and your family. Hoping your son comes out of this coma as soon as possible and makes a smooth recovery. Yeah, I completely endorse what it is that Sarah said just now about that situation, man. That's terrible to hear, man. That is terrible to hear. It's terrible to hear. Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it so much. You don't understand it. Sending healing energy to you and your son, Reagan. Absolutely. Absolutely. Avery Abrahamson said, so sorry to hear that, man. Ah, man. Avery Abrams said, I'm back from a birthday party I was at with my friends. Welcome back, my guy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Can you define what's meant by intangibles? Says a boat pro. So intangibles are so the things that we can't interpret with our physical senses, right? The things that we can't see, touch, taste, smell, and hear. The intangibles that we're talking about are, some of our thoughts, right? That we can't see, touch, taste, and smell with our physical eyes. Our thoughts, our soul, our spirit, our energy, our vibration, the frequency that we're vibrating on. An accumulation of those intangible things is what we're talking about when we talk about the intangibles, right? The things that you can't interpret or you can't, your physical senses, aren't able to actually feel in this third dimension. For lack of a better term, that's how I'll put it. Hey man, that's all right. I don't need anything. Everything is covered by insurance, but I really thank you, man. You really helped me through deep times. I really do thank you. Reagan, you don't even know how much I appreciate you, man. Listen, bro. Anytime you want to talk about it, man, I'm here. You just leave a comment. We'll figure out under this video, you leave a comment. We'll figure out how we could get in touch. You know what I mean? I'll definitely, us as parents, man, like I get it. I understand. I understand what it is that you're going through. And then I don't want you to feel like you have to go through this situation alone. I'm here for you, man. I'm 100% here for you. You've been here for me. You've been here for this channel. And it's the absolute least that I could do, right? Is to, just extend that olive branch, man. If you want to talk about the situation, yeah, man, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it, man. NGGA pretty as hell. All right. We're probably not gonna go that direction, so I gotta time you out, man. We don't use that language here. How old is your son? This is baby boy, man. This is baby boy. How you doing, my friend? This is John from Brooklyn, New York, saying hello. What's good, John? Guys, please make sure you are liking and subscribing. We had quite a bit of people in here tonight. Tonight, well, now not as much, right? But before we had quite a bit of people in here, and we only have 8 likes, right? We had a few subscribers, but we only had 8 likes. But either way, we still go on. My day was nice. I hope yours too was too, on AJ. Yes, it was. Yeah, it's called Yorkshire accent. The Scouse and London accent is great too. I agree. Obviously Scottish as well. Wink. Owen is a Scouser, isn't he? Yes, Owen is a Scouser. He absolutely is a Scouser. Reagan, if there's anything we can do, tell us. Absolutely, Reagan. Absolutely. He said his son is 11 months. Wow, man. Wow. Woober's TV. Let's not ask him too much questions about it. I understand that you really want to know what it is that he's going through, but I think at a time like this, I don't want him to keep reliving the situation, right? If he chooses to volunteer that information, then we're all here for it, right? But the detail, I know how some people kind of deal with trauma, right? So it's something for us to be a little bit understanding when it comes to that, because you may not want to relive the situation over and over in your head. He may not want to think more about that date, right? So it's we don't it's already a difficult time right now. And this isn't me singling you out or anything like that, because I understand, you may be concerned about the situation. But if he volunteers that information, we're all here to listen to it. But at the same time, it's one of those things. People deal with trauma in different ways. So, yes, it's important for you to express it, and we're here for you to express it. But as far as when it happened recent enough, right? Where it was at least in the last 2 weeks, for sure, right? Because had it been before that, he would have let us know, right? So it's just one of those things, man. But I do appreciate your concern, and I'm sure he does as well. I really want to get into it, Webby. Yep, this is exactly what I'm saying. I don't really want to get into it, Webby. I'm really trying to just leave my baby out of all of it. That's exactly what it is that I'm saying. And it's not about being right or wrong about a situation like that, but guys, we have to be mindful that people are going through situations when they're going through trauma. It's not in their best interest to always discuss every detail of it. All right. So we do thank him for sharing. And Olive Branch is already left out there. So whenever he wants to reach out, my line is open. You can hit me up, right? You just leave a comment underneath this if you have an Instagram. My Instagram, did I write it down? If you have an Instagram, my Instagram is here. Oh yeah, I did write it down on this page the other day, right? So this is the Instagram, right? So Reagan, if you are on Instagram, you know, that's me, right? At Fortune4T3, right? So yeah. If you want to talk about it, I'm here for you. I didn't know Keith Lee did streams, says Sosa F. It's a little bit funny. I do see a slight resemblance between me and Keith Lee, a little bit. A slight resemblance, not much, but yeah, since I've cut the beard actually, because yeah, you wouldn't have been saying that 2 days ago. 'Cause I cut the beard Wednesday, and then the situation happened in Georgia Wednesday as well, right? But I cut my beard before that situation, and the two is unrelated. The two situations are not related, but that's just what comes to mind now, right? What comes to mind on Wednesday, the fifth, the fourth, right, is not that, but the other situation. Someone says, "Yo, nice dreads. Thank you so much." Make sure you guys are still liking and subscribing to the channel. I think we're probably gonna do a 90-minute stream tonight. I do have to wake up again tomorrow, right? As well tomorrow, I may. You know what I may do for you guys tomorrow? Tomorrow, I may go to the absolute edge of Long Island, right? So when I do have some time, right? Because I will be working tomorrow, so it is. And the edge of Long Island is kind of far, right? So what I'll do tomorrow, if I do have the time and if I'm able to do so, tomorrow what I will do is, I'm not promising you guys anything, but what I might do is stream from the absolute edge of Long Island tomorrow. If not, if I'm unable to do that, I will do a stream from the beautiful, beautiful Southampton, New York tomorrow. Maybe on the beach, or you know, somewhere in Southampton. I'll show you guys around Southampton. It is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful city in Long Island. I don't live in Long Island. I don't live in Southampton. I just think it's beautiful up there. I don't aspire to really live there, to be honest with you, but I like going there, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful little town. It has a lot of big, beautiful mansions. You know, is it a town or a city? I'm not even entirely sure. It has a nice beach there. Yeah, it's really nice over there. So yeah, depending on how this goes, Southampton, New York tomorrow, guys. Duke Dennis, was that? Wow. Someone said Duke Dennis. Is that the second time someone said that? What was the other one that they said? Keith Lee. Keith Lee. I don't know. Duke Dennis. Yeah. I've heard that name before though. Scousers rule the world, says Owen. Owen says Scousers rule the world. Okay, Owen. Is that right? Scousers rule the world, lad? A lot of people I know always trying to talk about what they going through. So I never know, MB. Yeah. Whoopi, it's one of those things, man. It develops with time where you start to get a little bit more emotional intelligence, right? Having gone through trauma yourself or gone through trauma myself, I realize, right? Sometimes it's about learning yourself. Once you learn yourself, you start to learn other people, right? I remember certain times I've been through certain things. I didn't want to talk about it, especially being a guy, being a man. Sometimes you don't want to talk about the situation, right? Sometimes it's like, yo, how can I deal with it? I don't want to talk about it right now. You're not ready to talk about it yet. Especially when the situation is fresh like that, right? And it's so sensitive, right? It's the closest thing to his heart right now. It's nothing can get closer to his heart right now, right? And what's crazy, right? What's crazy, especially about being a parent, I'm sure, right? And this is not something that we wish or anything like that, but I'm sure he feels as if he would rather have been the one that was in that situation and feeling that instead of his kid. So in a situation like that, it's just best to kind of just allow somebody to reach out and kind of talk to you about the situation rather than you like, becoming, like, and I don't want to sound disrespectful when I'm saying this, but, rather than like, investigating the situation. Right. So, it's not about the theme or where it happened or when it happened and all of that sort of stuff. It's just, somebody that we hold in high regard. One of the most valuable, one of the top most valuable members of our community is going through something, right? And we need to be there for him, right? If he's there for us, right? But all of the rest of the details, you know, yeah, we just wait for him to tell us the rest of the details. You know what I mean? Hi, Bob Marley. We're jamming, jamming. Big up yourself, man. Big up yourself. And big up to Bob Marley, the absolute legend. Who is this lesbian? Says Eve Joy. Wow, man. You know what's crazy about that, guys? That's sort of what comes with cutting your beard sometimes, too. But I'm sure this guy sees the facial hair underneath here and the mustache and all of that. He just wanted to be cute, and say something like that. Very cute comment. Very cute. 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 Very cute. But yeah, we move on. At Eve Joy, what? Yeah, she's trolling. She's trolling. She's trolling. Well, I've got to go spend time with the wife, but God bless you all and thank you. And you have a great night on AJ. Reagan Riggs, nothing but positive energy with you, my man. Spend some time with your wife. Spend some time with your kids. At a time like this, let them know that, you got them. You still have them. Give them a hug. Appreciate them. Love them. I'm sure you know all about that. And we're with you, man. We're with you. Big up yourself. Big up your kids. Condolences to you and your family, man. And your little man's going to pull through. He is going to pull through. He's going to pull through. Right? And this is going to make each and every single one of you better. Have a good night, my man. And see you soon. You guys keep saying that. Sarah says, every time I say the Scouse accent, I sound Irish. Owen says the same thing as well. Owen says the same exact thing. Do I really? I gotta learn the Scouse accent. I'm gonna learn the Scouse accent, and it's gonna sound a whole lot better. And Whoopi says can't argue with her. I gotta study some Jamie Carragher tapes. Jamie Carragher. Internationalize? Internationalize? What did he say? I forgot what he said. What words would you give to someone who's having a hard time mentally with family issues, my friend? Has a really toxic household. And I don't know what to say. Any tips to help or what to say? So I like to start that by saying that most, if not everyone, has issues, right? Some issues or another with family, right? It's not something that's just exclusive to your friend, right? And it also depends on what the issues are, right? She's having a hard time. So you say, who's having a hard time mentally with family issues, right? You just have to reassure her that she's not the only one who has family issues. So depending on what the situation is, if you become a little bit more specific, right? Maybe I can make a suggestion, but it isn't advice. But maybe I'll be able to make a suggestion, right? So on tips on how to vaguely deal with family issues, I don't have much family issues these days, right? Because I realize who my family is. 9 times out of 10, I know I got my daughter, I got my mother. She lives in another state. My sisters live in another state with my mother. I got my grandma. My father lives in another state. You know, and those are the people that's family to me. You understand what I'm saying? And everyone has, different degrees of respect or different degrees of tolerance when it comes to a certain BS, right? So I'm going to be honest with you guys. My line isn't open to everybody that shares the same bloodline as me, right? It's not. And there are other people that I do consider family as well, other than those people, right? There are other people that I consider family as well. I don't see them as often as I would maybe like to see them, or maybe able to see them, but I still love them, right? These are still my family. However, because distance a lot of times, right, makes the heart grows fonder, sometimes it's best to love people from a distance. Sometimes it's best to forgive people from a distance. Sometimes it's best to have distant relationships, especially when dealing with toxic family members, right? So if I'm dealing with a toxic family member, I figure, you know what? Let me put a little bit of distance between me and this family member, right? Let me put a little distance between me and them. If I still feel that toxic aura, that toxic scent, let me put a little bit more distance between me and this family member, right? So yeah, guys. I hope that somewhat helps a little bit. I really do. And Kobe's, you're maybe done this already, but tell her you're always there if she wants to vent, and maybe she can go to your house or go on walks with you to escape from it. I think that's some really sound advice by Sarah. I think that's some really sound, well, not advice, let's say suggestions, right? Because we're not giving advice here. You can take from it if you would like to, or you can do what it is that you choose, right? So if you ask us for a suggestion, we will give you a suggestion. We will give you something that we would do, but it's not something that you have to take on, right? I guess I've only been here a few days. Okay, Whoopi, it's all good. Lub Sang says, your hair looks so cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I have told her occasionally, but I'll make sure to tell her again, says Niku Beast. Thank you so much. Guys, make sure you are subscribing to the channel as well. We did go up in subscribers, yes, but I still think we could do a little bit more. We're gonna be around for another about 12 minutes or so. We did address most of what it is that we wanted to address in the early portion of this video. So I think I'm going to dedicate most of the rest of it to chat and, kind of talk a little bit briefly about some of the things that we could do, on a tangible level. Because we sort of briefly touched on the intangibles as well. But yeah, it's definitely something that has to be addressed at the root level. But until then, I think it's safe to say schools need to have metal detectors. It's safe to say schools need to be the most sacred places. If you're gonna force every American kid to go to school, right? Provided some kids are homeschooled, but if you're gonna force every American kid to go to school, even the ones that are capable of doing these acts, right? Because there are kids that are capable of doing these things. If you're going to force all of them to go to school, force school to be safe as well. So school needs to be safe, right? I can't have kids in these institutions because now we can't just blame the kid for doing it. We gotta blame the people that aren't keeping the kids safe. We gotta blame the parent that giving the kids the guns, right? And school needs to be a place where people don't pick on other kids, man. Don't pick on other kids. Everybody is different and everybody is unique, right? Everyone is unique. Everyone's not like me where someone says something, I'm just like, whatever. It is what it is. Chalk it up to the game, right? I wasn't always like this because there was one point where, yeah, I probably hit you in the mouth, right? There really was a point in time where if I felt like I was disrespected, things would have went left, right? These days, I have enough emotional intelligence and enough self-control, right? Because again, when you become spiritual, that's one of the big things that you learn. You learn more self-control, right? So it's not just about your impulses. It's not just you in this world. There's other people in this world as well, even though everything is one thing expressing itself in different ways, right? So when it's all said and done, action, reaction, right? Action, reaction. So everything doesn't have to be, oh, that person said that, such and such and such. Use that negative energy that the person gave you and convert it into something positive. Allow it to motivate you. I think that's the key element that a lot of people are missing, right? Especially when it comes to the spiritual stuff, right? The negative energy that some of these people give you, you have it in yourself to turn it into something positive. You could laugh at it. You could laugh at yourself every now and then as well. You could laugh at yourself every now and then as well. Sometimes people are going to say things to be mean-spirited. Whatever. You understand what I'm saying? It's okay to laugh at that. It's cool. They don't really know you. They don't really know the depths. And what they're looking at, right, and what they're saying is really just a reflection of who they are on the inside of who they want to project themselves as, right? So it's not always something that has to do with you guys. Is that a piece of my beard? I don't know. So it's not always something that has to do with you guys, right? So yeah, people are going to say negative things. People are going to do negative things. And it depends on the degree because yes, we are all human, right? So you're not going to allow people to threaten you. You're not going to allow people to threaten the people that you love, right? And you're not going to be a pushover. It's not about being a pushover, right? Being spiritual doesn't mean you're a pushover, right? But yeah, we got to address the situation at a spiritual level, not at a religious level, because obviously, as much churches as we have, as many religious institutions as we have, clearly people are not vibrating at a high frequency. So let's go beyond the division and let's realize that we are all one, right? Regardless of the race, right? Regardless of the complexion, regardless of the size of your nose and your lips and how thick your hair is, right? Or how thin your hair is, or how light you are, right? Or the color of your eyes, right? There are different things that we can find common ground on. Not just what you look like on the outside. There are different things that we could find common ground on, right? So in terms of your ego, there are things that you identify as, right? So me, I know I identify as a parent, and I identify as a son, and I identify as a grandson, right? Other people of different races can identify as a child. They can identify as an adult. They can identify as someone else's spouse or whatever it is, right? But we can all relate on a human level, right? Let it not be something where, what we relate, the things that we relate on always have to do with what we look like on the outside. It's not about that, right? Right? So as a father, I was able to understand what Reagan Riggs was going through, right? So Reagan Riggs and I are probably not the same race. But does that matter? No, right? Because what you saw earlier was two people connecting on a spiritual level, was two people understanding one another on a spiritual level, right? It doesn't have anything to do with what anyone looks like on the outside. But those intangibles, if I could close my eyes and just listen, okay, I understand completely what it is that you're saying. If I never knew what he looked like on the outside, ever, 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 I understand what he's saying, right? Because we connected on a human level. We connected on a spiritual level, right? We didn't just connect on physical level. It's not, I don't even know what Reagan looks like, to be honest with you. But it's not about, what does he look like on the outside? He's a father, right? He's a person. He's a spiritual being having a human experience. And he reached out, right? And I commend him for that. Because that's a very tough thing for anybody to endure, guys. That's not an easy thing to endure for anybody. And it's like I said this before, right? He would much rather it had been him that felt the pain that his kid is feeling right now. I'm telling you that. I know it. Right? So it's just one of those things, guys. It's really a spiritual thing. But yeah, on a physical level, what can we do? We could get some metal detectors. I think metal detectors are needed at this point, right? I think if we're gonna have so much weapons in America and they're so easily accessible by everyone, there has to be metal detectors, right? This ain't Sweden, right? There's weapons everywhere here. This ain't places like that. You understand me? So let's not be foolish, right? When someone makes a suggestion that we should have metal detectors, I don't want my kid to be walking through metal detectors. Well, I don't want my kid to be walking around gunshots, to be honest with you, right? So what are we going to do here? You get what I'm saying? So which one would you rather? The ball's in your court. So guys, we got to we got to push for some more security for these kids. We got to. It's not something that's just exclusive to Georgia and Maryland, right? Don't wait till it happens down the block from you. Don't wait till it happens up the street from you. Don't wait till it happens in your state, in your city, right? Try to make some changes now, everyone. We can do this. Of course we can. Of course we can. Collectively, we can do this. On a human level, we could do this. On a spiritual level, we can do this. We absolutely can. Of course we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So why aren't we doing this? In terms of doing the best that I can in terms of, making the content, speaking about the situation, bringing awareness to these situations that are happening, and not just talking about the physical element, but also the spiritual element of these things, because again, it comes down to the intangibles, right? It comes down to the intangibles and the things that are sort of that we don't read about in the newspaper, and some of the backstory having to do with the kid. And this tragedy was 15, 14 years in the making. You know what I mean? He came into a family that just did not have his best interest. And it's really sad what happened with this kid. And it's sad what happened today, or actually yesterday now, because it's 1:20 a.m. It's sad what happened recently in those two situations, right? Kids. These are children. My school had a metal detector, but they said it was for vapes and substances, which I never believed. Yeah, I mean, it needs that. How do they find with a metal detector? Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Whoopi, you're absolutely right about that. That's a really, really good question. Do you think dinosaurs were real, or do you think it's a cover up? This guy wants to talk about dinosaurs. I'm not entirely sure right now, man. I think dinosaurs is gonna be for another stream. I don't think I want to touch on dinosaurs right now, to be honest with you. Let's talk about that another time. All right? How's that? Okay, when my hair gets in my face. Like 100 FD people just walking around leaving massive footprints. Laugh out loud. 100-foot people. Okay. You have any Tibetan friends? Says Lub Sang Nima. I do not know many Tibetan people, to be honest with you. You may be the first. Are you from Tibet? Big up yourself. Guys, make sure you are subscribing. Okay, we are at the 90-minute mark. So I'm going to get through these chats. Make sure you did subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Make sure, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so right now, guys. I'm going to get through the rest of the chat. Jeez, man, you guys. Wow. Hold on. Wait, hold on a second. All right, you guys definitely set me up just now. Wow. It's a lot. It's a lot. But big up yourself, Loeb Sang Nima. Welcome, 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 welcome. Josh says it's like mainline science in the 1800s that there were people that were 12 feet tall. I recently learned, says Nico, her boyfriend's uncle is teaching his son to duck and cover for school. Saddest thing I've ever learned. I think it's a survival skill. I think it's survival skills. Teach them how to survive by the best way that you can. I don't see much wrong with that. I don't. I don't. Teach them how to survive. It's in the Bible, says Josh. Interesting. But I still think dinosaurs existed. That is sad. That is sad. I identify as buffer, says Ricky. I don't even know what that is. Legit proof of what? Dinosaurs. No legit proof. Yeah, you know what, guys? If it's one of those fun streams in which we're gonna try to do a fun stream tomorrow, because I understand, what's been happening recently in the media and recently with people all over the country and all over the world that's affected by these situations. So we just want to bring awareness to it, and we want the world to be safer for the kids. You know what I mean? That way we can laugh and enjoy life, because knowing that the children are safe, knowing that Reagan's kid is safe, Sarah, if she has any kids, I don't know. She hasn't told me yet. I won't ask. But anyone who does have kids and any kids that are out there, I think they should be safe and protected. You know what I mean? So that's my main thing, man. That's my main thing, guys. You know what I mean? So that's what it is that I really want to dedicate these things to. And just us as parents, are we really discussing? Are we really sitting down and getting to know our child? And I know it may be difficult for some people, right? There are those they don't have it the easiest, right? Because maybe another parent with a custody battle wanted to keep them out of the child's life and did everything in their power, right? But you can't give up on your child, regardless of what relationship you have with the other parent. The child is the most important in the situation, so you have to develop, a relationship with the child and have open dialogue with the child, and have a level of love and respect that you guys share mutually with one another as a parent. You know what I mean? Your child needs you. Your child absolutely needs you. That's why, that's why you're the parent. So when your child needs you, you know, don't put them in situations like this, right? If your child is surrounded and needs help in that, and because somebody's trying to get them and you try to help them, that's a different story. But you don't do this when your child is when your child is facing some of these allegations and this investigation. You know what I mean? That just didn't really make much sense to me. Like Kanye said, guess we'll never know, says Sarah. Keep shining, black people, says Royal Mind. Big up yourself. Do y'all believe in past lives? Is the real question. Yes. Past lives. Yes and no, right? When I say yes and no, it's because on a higher dimension, everything is existing at the same time, right? So there is no past, no present, or no future, right? You're simultaneously the old man and the baby, right? You're simultaneously the corpse and the the egg and the sperm, right? You're simultaneously all of those things, all at once. So, I do believe that. So yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. I think past lives could be real. I've always hoped reincarnation is a thing, says Wibby. It's not a matter of hope, Wibby. You see, look at it from the physical. All right, so I've actually had this conversation before, and this I really should be ending the video right now, guys, but I'm gonna keep going, because this is like opening a can of worms, and everyone knows how I love talking about this, right? Water exists in three states: solid, liquid, and gas, right? I don't want to put Poland Spring in it because I don't think we should be paying for water when water is free by the universe. And, we go through the water cycle. It evaporates, it condenses, it precipitates, right? It does the same thing over and over and over and over again. Evaporates, condenses, precipitates, right? So the same amount of water that was on the planet a million years ago is the same amount of water that's on the planet now, right? And just like how the water is recycled, energy can't be created nor destroyed. So the water cannot be created nor can it be destroyed. It just takes on a different form, right? And it just continues on and on and on, right? So if you think about yourself, and, science says this, right? It could be accurate. There could be more. There could be less, right? So if you are at least 60% water, 50, 60, 70, 80, who knows, right? But if you poke yourself, sort of like a red liquid comes out, right? If someone were to take all of that red liquid from your body, would you still exist in this dimension, right? So that water that comes from your body, right? It came, right, from somewhere else, right? So your parents had you, right? They transferred their energy into you that they got from their parents, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So in that sense alone, that in itself is reincarnation. That in itself is that energy also being recycled into a new form of life, right? That in itself. Right? Even if we just look at it from that level, right? So you are a reincarnation of your parent. Is the consciousness recycled? That's for another conversation, right? But if everyone is just one thing, if everything is one thing expressing itself in different ways, then this is all just one giant reincarnation or incarnation, right? It's all just one thing happening at the same time. So simultaneously, it's happening on a higher level, it's happening on a lower level, right? So here you are, if you're a parent, getting the opportunity to witness yourself again from a different perspective, right? And it's not just exclusive to you and your child, but absolutely everyone that you look at around you. Everyone that you look at around you, right, is all one. We are all one. But we separate ourselves by what we look like on the outside. And that's the most basic thing that you could do, right? That's the most low-level thing that one could do. It is. I'll be honest with you, right? Elevate your mind. Elevate your spirit. You know what I mean? Stop thinking low frequency thoughts. You know what I mean? I'm not telling you don't be proud of yourself and be proud of what it is that you look like, right? But it's bigger than just what you look like on the outside. It's bigger than that. It absolutely is. So don't take that for granted, guys. But yeah, I hope that sort of explains a little bit. Energy can't be created nor destroyed. So yeah. Reincarnation, yes. And sometimes we tap into different frequencies. Sometimes we're thinking thoughts ain't even our thoughts. Just like how, back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember when they had the radios that you had to tune to different frequencies, right? To pick up on different radio stations. Sometimes we pick up on these different radio stations, thinking thoughts of somebody else, absorbing someone else's thoughts, right? Absorbing someone else's fear, right? And then identifying with these things as if it's our own. Even though everything is one thing expressing itself in different ways, right? But that's how the world, it's such a spiritual world that we live in, that things like that happen. But we neglect to really realize that. Damn, 10 minutes after we're supposed to end, here we are still. How to make chicken. You got to make chicken with egg. Hi, says I. Okay. Sand Hook was supposed to have a lot of safety upgrades, but Gov workers took the money for themselves. Mr. Editor, HM, well, step one, it shouldn't be flying. Steve Jr. says, bro has black stain on his t-shirt, left shoulder, doesn't even realize. It's a black t-shirt. I'm not really entirely sure what it is that you're talking about, sir. It's a black t-shirt. Yeah. Big up yourself though, Steve. Thank you so much for pointing that out. All right. I should go to bed. It's currently 1 in the morning. I can't wait for the next stream. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the next stream. Definitely gonna be streaming tomorrow as well, or today and tomorrow, right? See ya, Niku. Psychologically, says Josh R. Bye, says Niku. Good night, Niku. Hope you have a blessed night, and I'll see you soon. Dang, have a good night, Oneje. Yeah, we'll be. I think he's got what he wants, man. Seems pretty content and whole. Joseph Simmet says, what do you really want in life? Why haven't you pursued it yet? Joseph, that's a question that I'll probably answer tomorrow if you come back. Hi, nice to meet you, says Lisa May. Nice to meet you as well, Lisa May. Guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing. I'm going to try to get through the rest of this chat, and then I'm going to call it a night. Josh R says the group known as both 764 and Harm Nation are convincing a lot of SSI. What's that? What is that? I don't know what SSI NGs are. All right, Josh. All of the SS are on SSRIs and were the FB radar years before things happen. Not entirely sure what that is, to be honest with you. Jace Thompson, this guy looks like he would become religious for a girl and then start teaching Bible study while contemplating life. You aren't paying for the water. You are paying for someone to mass produce purified water. Sky Chase. Thank you so much for sharing everything. Hey, Navia. How you doing, Navia? Navia, you came a little late, sweetheart. We're going to be ending the stream really soon. I'm just getting through the chat, and then I'll end the stream. She says, hey, Sarah. How are you? And the murder drone says, hello. Hello, drone. I'm a serial designation N for short. I don't even know what that is. Anyway, guys, have a blessed night. Be kind to yourself. Remember to always be kind to yourself. And yeah, say something positive to yourself tonight before you go to bed. Tomorrow when you wake up, do the same thing. Serial designation, says Sarah. Have a good night, everyone. I love each and every one of you. Big up yourselves. Please remember that. Love yourselves. Love starts with yourself. Love starts from within. Not just loving your ego, but loving something that connects us all together. Have a good night, each and every one of you. I will see you again later. Bye-bye. One love.